everybody, it is Julie and I am back with a tag video. This is just one that I found. I was not tagged in this video. It's actually very old, I think. It was originated by Jeeks Books, and this was originally in August of 2014. So she originated. I'll have it linked down below, but I found this through Books and Lala, which I'll also have linked down below. I have the questions in front of me, so if I look down, I'm just looking at the questions. And this has 50 questions, so I'm going to go through really quick, and I don't have, like, I didn't pull all the books that I'm going to be answering with because, again, 50 questions. And yeah, I'm just going to run through these, and I did kind of look at the questions ahead of time just to kind of gather some thoughts so that I wasn't, like, sitting down and wasting a ton of footage and a whole bunch of battery life. But let's get right into this with the Booktuber TMI tag. So the first one is a fictional character with the best sense of style, and I don't know that that's something that I like super pay attention to because it is fresh in my mind. I'm just gonna go ahead and say Kaz Brekker from Six of Crows and Crooked Kingdom because he does always kind of look like dapper and well dressed with his cane, so I'll say him. Number 2 is my fictional book crush, and guys, I'm 36 years old, so a lot of the YA that I'm reading are not like crush worthy. They're babies. So I'm kind of like a mama when I read these books. I don't really get fictional crushes. And even in like adult romance or adult books, I don't really crush on fictional characters. Like some of them will like warm my heart, but I don't like crush on them really. Number 3, have you ever loved a character and then started hating them? Yes, I originally started off thinking that I was going to really love Eleanor from Eleanor and Park, and by the end of the book, I really did not like her. And I did talk about that already in my review. I'll link that up here. The biggest / longest book on my shelf, A Dance with Dragons, my George R.R. Martin book, that's like over 1,000 pages. Most of my George R.R. Martin books are like definitely the most insane. So I would say probably that one. The heaviest book on my bookshelf, I did pull out for you because I can't actually even put it on my bookshelf because I'm afraid it will break it. And that is, oh my gosh, this is Harry Potter, Page to Screen, The Complete Filmmaking Journey. Guys, this book is phenomenal. It's like all the behind the scenes stuff about the filming of the movie, and just behind the scenes stills and different pictures of the cast and the crew and the filmmaking journey, costume and like wardrobe pictures. It is amazing, but it is probably both my heaviest, biggest, and most expensive book that I own. I got this for Christmas one year from my cousin who just knows me so well, and it is gigantic, and I am ashamed to say that I haven't fully looked through this book yet because it is just so detail heavy. Like, I need to just set aside some time and like go over a couple pages every day because it is phenomenal. But this was $75 in the US, and it's massive, and I love it, but it weighs a ton. Do you have any book posters? I don't have any book posters in like the form of like covers, but I do have tons of book related posters. I just ordered a ton off of Etsy that are all book related, and then I have one that I have framed hanging up that's a Dumbledore quote that I adore. I'll insert something here. Do you have any book themed jewelry? Yes, I have a ton of it. My very favorite book themed piece of jewelry is this adorable feather. So I don't know if you can see that it's etched in there. This is actually inscribed with Wingardium Leviosa, and I adore it. It's from the Geeky Cauldron. I think it was like 12 bucks. It's the most gorgeous necklace. You've seen it in some of my other videos. I love it, love it, love it. Book OTP. And I legitimately had to look this up because OTP means nothing to me because I'm old and I'm new to Booktube. So I figured it out, but no, I don't go bananas over like gushing over couples or who should be with who or anything kind of like that. I don't get too like fangirly about that stuff. So no. Favorite book series, Harry Potter. I mean, I could probably say Harry Potter for almost all these questions, but Harry Potter definitely started my love of like intense reading. So I found Harry Potter my sophomore year of college, which was in '99, and the first 3 books were already out. So I read the first 3 back to back, and then I had to wait, like all the other mere mortals and muggles, every year for another one to come out, and I fell in love with them. And it definitely was like my first serious fandom, first series of like waiting for books to come out and going crazy for them. and really started and like reinvigorated my love of reading. I've always been a reader, but it really reinvigorated my love of reading, like seriously. So I have to say Harry Potter. Favorite standalone, and for this, I feel like there's so many amazing standalones. I just finished The Strange and Beautiful Sorrows of Ava Lavender, loved it. I loved The Serpent King, which was a standalone by Jeff Zantner, and I was not expecting to love that. Absolutely loved it. I loved David Nichols' One Day, like it slayed me, absolutely floored me. It's definitely one of the books that have stayed with me like the most. I love the Poisonwood Bible. Like there's so many of those standalones that are just amazing, so it's hard for me to say. The last book to movie adaptation that I saw was The Fifth Wave. I just happened to catch it on TV. My favorite book to movie adaptation is not necessarily like my all-time favorite book or my all-time favorite movie, but I thought that it was a very well done adaptation, and that was A Girl with a Dragon Tattoo. And I loved that book, and I thought the movie really did, you know, did it justice, so I really liked that adaptation. So my least favorite book to movie adaptation was Aragon, and I loved the Aragon series. I'm bummed I don't have it. Like, I don't have the majority of my books right now. They're all still in storage from when I moved. But I really did enjoy the Aragon series, and the movie was horrific. So definitely that one. My favorite book to movie soundtrack would have to be Divergent. I really liked the Divergent soundtrack, and it was one of the movies where the soundtrack really stood out. Like while I was watching the movie, the soundtrack made sense in a way that was really gripping, and I got home and I immediately bought it. A book story that you miss or wish you could continue. And for that, I put The Hollows, or the Rachel Morgan series by Kim Harrison. Now there's like 12, 15, 17, I don't even know how many books, but that was a series that I started and then like binge read, and then had to wait for a couple of the last ones to come out, but I loved it. And it's definitely a new adult paranormal romance fantasy, but it's phenomenal. I love Rachel Morgan. I loved the characters in that series, and it's a very rich, very well developed world, and Kim Harrison did a great job with that series, and I really love it, and I wish I could just have more of it for forever. 16 was Since When Do You Read Books? Since when do you read books? That's how it's worded. I have been reading books since forever. It's actually the potty training tool that my mother used. I would sit on the toilet and just read books until I went to the bathroom. And I loved reading books, so I naturally just went to the bathroom on my own. But yeah, I've always been a reader, but like I said, 99 with the Harry Potters probably reinvigorated like my serious love of reading. Which Hogwarts house are you? According to Pottermore, I'm Gryffindor. A quality that I look for in a book is definitely well-written characters, character arcs. The characters are well-written and well-rounded. I'm in. My favorite book quote is actually the one that I have hanging up here that I told you I would insert a quote of, and that is Dumbledore's. Words are, in my not so humble opinion, our most inexhaustible source of magic, and it is printed on a dictionary page, which I thought was very fitting, and I adore it. It's just very true. As a writer and as a reader, they are absolutely our most inexhaustible source of magic. And then favorite author, guys, that's like insane to me. I can't even. My favorite cover, again, I don't have like a ton of covers with me right now, but I will show you this because I just was so struck by it. I thought it was so gorgeous. This is The Great Hunt by Wendy Higgins, and there's just something about that like blue dress, the scarlet hair, the woods, like it just feels very witchy, and I love it. I cannot get enough of this cover. Like I've just been staring at it nonstop. I'm like obsessed with it right now, so I have to say that for right now. Action or romance? Action all the time. I love when romance fits into it, but if there's no action, I'm out. Where do you go when a sad moment happens? My bed. How long do I need to finish a book? Totally depends. I can finish a book in a day. I have like 50 pages left of A Dance with Dragons that I've had for like over a year that's just sitting there that I haven't finished yet. So, but I can read a 400 or 500 page book in a day if I want to. How long is my mourning period? That also depends on how deeply I'm mourning and how invested I got in the characters. After the Harry Potter series ended, like forever. I don't think I'm done that yet. The whole Six of Crows, Crooked Kingdom, still not over it. So it depends, but as far as like mourning and I won't read, I don't have that. Like I can go right back on and read. I usually go from like a mourning period to a standalone. I can't go from a mourning period to like a series. Like I have to give myself a little space. My least favorite book, which is just, that's cruel. That's just horrible to say. But there are a couple that I just haven't loved. Well, Soundless by Rochelle Mead, I really didn't care for. That was an Owl Crate box book. There was another one which was Stay Awake by Dan something, and that I thought was going to be like a tale of I think it was like about depression, but it was awful. I couldn't get through it. It's like one of the only things I didn't finish. I at least finished Soundless. I couldn't even finish that Stay Awake. Reason I joined Booktube, guys, basically I love filming. I love making videos. I like making video content. I've been writing for forever, and filming videos just felt like a nice break from having to write articles all the time or blog posts all the time. And I already had filming equipment from my beauty channel, and I stumbled across Booktube about 2 weeks before I started my channel. Like, I came across the fact that there was even Booktube, that it was even a thing, because I'd been so obsessed with makeup videos that I didn't even realize there was a world on YouTube outside of them. Found a Booktube channel, watched it, subscribed to a ton of them, binge watched for like 2 weeks every single Booktube video I could, and then started my channel and immediately started putting out content. So yeah, I just couldn't not be a part of this community, and I was desperate to get on here. And as a writer and an author, I was really happy to shine a light on writers and authors and try to spread their reach. And yeah, I'm just so excited about it. Name a scary book. I don't read scary books because I'm a big baby. A big baby. But I will say that in high school I read The Shining. That was probably like the scariest book that I've ever read, and terrified me. The last book that made me cry was Crooked Kingdom. Again, I'm a crier, so like nearly everything makes me cry. Like, I can cry in a 30-second Hallmark commercial, no problem. But yeah, Crooked Kingdom destroyed me. The last book that I gave 5 stars to was The Strange and Beautiful Sorrows of Ava Lavender. I can't get enough of it. Go check out my review on Goodreads. It's phenomenal. And then I also have a video review that I'll link up here. Any favorite book titles? So I don't know if that means like my favorite books, or if that means like my favorite titles, like the actual title of the book. I don't know what that means, but I have a ton of favorite books, guys. As far as like actual titles go, I actually do think that The Strange and Beautiful Sorrows of Ava Lavender was a very like intriguing title, especially because I have battled with like mental illness and depression, so I know that sorrow and kind of sadness can be beautiful. Like, there's beauty to be found there. So that title definitely intrigued me, and I thought it was a gorgeous book, but also a very gorgeous cover and title, like all around. I really loved it. The last book that I read was actually The Dead by Charlie Higson, and that is the second book of the Enemy series. And yeah, so I read that for my spookathon. I finished that today. The book that I'm currently reading, I'm reading 2. I am reading Sweet Reckoning, which is the last book of the trilogy of the Sweet series by Wendy Higgins, and I'm also reading It Ends With Us by Colleen Hoover. A book character that I always wanted to talk to, maybe Hermione, like, or Luna. Oh my god, you could have the most amazing conversations with Luna. Like, are you kidding me? I could sit down and be entertained by her for hours. Like, that would be amazing. An author I've always wanted to talk to. Guys, Tolkien. Like, are you crazy? I am hardcore, no joke, Lord of the Rings fanatic. Read all of the books. I have multiple versions of the books. Again, not here because they're in storage. The movies, I have the extended DVDs. I flippin' love those books. And if I could, I would have sat down with him and gotten into J.R.R. Tolkien's head, and just the world building that he did. Sorry guys, my battery overheated, which happens with my my equipment every now and then. Everything that I use, by the way, to film, my camera, my lighting, all that is listed down below always. So if you're curious, it's all down there, and it is linked to like where I bought it. So you can check it out if you want, but this camera is phenomenal, but it does overheat every now and then, and it's a pain in the butt, but I was filming for like 25 minutes there. So anyway, yes, Tolkien, I would absolutely sit down with. I cannot believe the world building, intricacies, the languages, like everything that came out of his mind is so phenomenal and fascinating, and I would have loved to have just like delved into that with him. My favorite book snack is gummy bears, hand down. A world I'd want to live in, I'd probably say in peaceful times, Tolkien's world. I would live in Middle Earth. I'd probably live in like Lothlorien or Rivendell. Like, I would die to be an elf. Like, I would just, can I be an elven princess, please? Book I don't want to live in would be Hunger Games. Like, no thank you. The last time that I smelled a book, I'm not like a book smeller. Even if I do like secondhand books that have that kind of older feel and smell to them, like I'm more tactile. I don't actually want to like germ smell things. But I will say the last book that I smelled 100% for sure, remember actively doing it, was my book when I got it printed and shipped to me. I smelled the heck out of that because I was proud and crying. Weird insults that were used in books, and I have to say some of the ones that stand out to me the most are from the Harry Potter series or from the Hollow series by Kim Harrison. And one of my favorite characters in Kim Harrison's The Hollows was Jenks. He was a fairy, like a pixie, but he would always make fun of Tinkerbell. So he would say like, Tink's tiny dildo, or sorry, bleeps, or damn it all to Disneyland or something. Like it would just, he would just say the most ridiculous, hilarious things because you're in this completely like urban fantasy, paranormal like landscape that was so dark, but then there was like Disneyland and Disney references that just cracked me up all the time. Favorite romance book? I don't get like super crazy into romance, but I will say one of my favorite romances in a book was probably in The Host by Stephanie Meyers, and I just loved that romance. Do I write? Yes, I do. I write a little bit less now that I've started with Booktube because I'm incredibly busy with reading and with content. But I do write. I try to make it a habit to write every single day, and yeah, so I'm a self-published author and I try to write as much as humanly possible. Favorite magical item is a wand, of course. I love them. My Quidditch position I had to think about, but probably like a beater. Like I could club some stuff at people. Like I've got aggression issues. I'm Greek and Irish. Like I could take that out on some people. Name a song that I connect with a book, and immediately my mind goes to Christina Perri, who I love, and her 1,000 Years from the Twilight series, which I get it, Twilight, whatever, but that song is still just absolutely beautiful and I love it, and I definitely associate it with that movie. My favorite book related chat up line, which I think means like come on line, like they hit on them, and I legitimately can't think of one. Like I thought about it, and because that's not usually my focus when I read a book, none have stuck out to me. And then the next question was if I've ever used it, and the answer is no. I don't use lines when I talk to guys, so I couldn't name anything for the two of those. My favorite book fandom has got to be Harry Potter. I love finding other people that love Harry Potter and just kind of geeking out with them. I could definitely wax poetic for a long time about Tolkien and Lord of the Rings, and I could go bananas on Harry Potter in terms of like trivia and details. So probably the two of them. How many books do I own? Again, there are a ton of books that I have right now that are in storage. I have not counted the books that I have physically in my house right now, but I will do that and I will insert it. So look for that on the screen. Who do you tag? And I, again, am so new that like channel names and knowing who like has done different tags, like I don't know who's done all of these. So if you want to do it, please do it. And if you do go through with this tag, please link it in my comments below because I want to come and see what you say like so badly. If there are any tags that you want me to do, again, I've only done two, the mid-year book freakout tag and this tag. I have a couple other ones that I definitely want to get to, but if there's any that you'd like to see me do, please comment down below. And if you can, leave me the link to the original or somebody else that's done it so I can see it. I always like to give original credit, so if you can, link that down below and I'll be sure to do them for you. This has been the TMI Tag Booktube Edition. I hope you've enjoyed my answers. Go ahead and click the thumbs up and subscribe button, and I will see you in my next video.